Now it's time to talk about product review blog posts. Oftentimes we're not going to recommend that people write a post that's just specifically about a product. And there are a couple of reasons for that. First, it's what most bloggers are doing, and they're doing a pretty bad job of it. And what we're finding is that Google is sending more and more of the traffic directly to the stores where they can buy it, because the product reviews that are on those stores already contain all of the information that the bloggers are writing. So we're seeing more and more of that traffic get taken away, and those bloggers are losing out a lot. And the second reason is that when you're very focused on a product, it's really easy to spend the entire article trying to make the sale. And so you don't highlight some of the things that you would probably highlight if you were telling your grandma or your child or your sibling about this product. You're not as genuine about it because you want to make the sale. You want them to make the click. However, what we find is that authenticity, genuineness, and uniqueness of content can actually make a product review very valuable. It can make it rank much better on Google, and it's more likely to get people to actually make the click and go check out the product. So in this lesson, we're going to learn how to make a good product review to the point that some websites could be entirely focused on product reviews if they go about it in the right way. The first thing I want you to do is think about what sort of information needs to be in this article, depending on what the product is and what your niche is. Again, go back to that question. If I were looking for this kind of a product and went to the internet to look for a good review, what information would I want to know? If I were telling my grandmother about this product, or again, my child, or my sibling, my brother, or my sister, what would I want to tell them about this product? And that's the kind of information you want to include in this blog post. Then what I want you to do is start on the process of original research. The only way to really do good original research in a product review is to get your hands on the actual product. It's really important that you do this. A lot of people skip this step. They go and they read reviews, they see what people say about the product in forums, and they just try to gather a lot of the information that's already available online and put it together into a blog post. The problem is there's nothing about that that's unique. And that's why Google's skipping the blogger and oftentimes sending people straight to Amazon or other websites. We don't want to be that kind of a blogger. We need original content. A couple of tips for getting your hand on the product. One, for your first few reviews, start with inexpensive products. The affiliate payouts to you are going to be lower, but don't worry about that. We just want to see if this works, if it's something that you're going to be able to do and to do well. The risk to you will be low if it's a product that you can buy and hang on to and not have to worry too much about whether or not it earns its money back. Another thing that we're going to do is we're going to use the product in multiple articles. And so you have multiple opportunities now to earn your money back. The other thing that you can do to help mitigate that risk is see if there's a way that you could borrow the product or rent the product. Depending on what your niche you're in, renting of products could be very, very normal. In photography, renting cameras and lenses is a big thing. And so getting your hands on lots of different products isn't actually that hard to do or that expensive. Now that you've got your hands on the products, what I want you to do for original research is to start by injecting that product into your regular routine. So let's use the example of a vacuum cleaner. A lot of us use vacuum cleaners, right? And if you're going to recommend one, it's fine to pull it out of the box and do a bunch of checks and see how you like it, maybe even run some experiments on it. But that's not going to be sufficient because you're not going to see the little quirks that bug you until you've actually used it a few times. For example, the vacuum cleaner that we use in our home, we actually have two different models of the same, like two different versions of this model that are a few years apart because we end up buying a second one. And the thing that bugs me the most is this whole thing can come apart, right? I can take the base off, makes it really convenient for carrying just the vacuum portion with the hose out to my car or to do the stairs, again with that hose section, without the heavier base piece. But in order to be able to take the base off, I have to unwind the entire power cord. Sometimes that doesn't matter because I'm doing the whole house, but if I'm just doing a little area, or I just want to do my car, I don't really want to have to unwind the whole thing. It's annoying to me. Why this vacuum has not added one of those little spring-loaded, auto coilers is beyond me. It wouldn't cost them that much, and it would make the vacuum way more user-friendly, in my opinion. That's something I would include in a blog post. It may not be a make or break thing for a lot of people that want to buy it, but it's something that I would like to know. Next, I would love to see you run some experiments of some kind, whatever makes sense. Like for a vacuum, you might take a cup, 1 cup of topsoil and put it on a rug, and another cup of sand and put it on a second rug, and a cup of like wet mud and put it on another one. You know, whatever substrates, maybe some flour, some rice, whatever, and then you're going to vacuum each one up. You're going to do a specific number of passes, and you're going to see how much of it got picked up and how much was left behind. An easy way to do this might be to shake out what's left into a controlled area and put it back into a measuring cup or weigh it or something like that. Another option would be to stop after you vacuumed up that one thing and weigh how much you picked up and see how it compares to the original. When you're all done, I recommend shaking out the rugs because you're probably going to do the same experiment with the next vacuum that you test. You may not use all the information from this experiment in this blog post, but it's going to come in really handy when you compare this particular product to the other products in its class, which is something we're going to talk about when we talk about the Roundup blog post. Think about a few experiments you could do. Experiments are amazing original research and help you create really, really unique content. It's really, really valuable. People love it. It actually helps them make a good decision about the product and know how well it works. I mean, we can all look at the manufacturer's specs and see how much suction it says it has, and we can read the reviews where people say, it did a good job in my home, but when you actually run an experiment with it, it's going to give that much better information. Once you've done that original research, using your own experimenting with it, as well as doing some research, seeing what other people do say about it, that might clue you into some issues or some benefits or pros of this product that you hadn't thought of. Once you've got all that put together, now we need to structure a blog post. I like the regular response style structure for this, just following the regular post recipe, starting with a good answer section, and then multiple subheadings. The difference is the answer section for this is probably going to include like a pros and cons table. You might call them something a little bit different, maybe even make up your own kind of fun name for the top of them, like things I love and things I hate or whatever. And then make like a nice little table side by side, or just 2 columns that show the things that you really like and the things you don't like about the product. And then I would probably have like a key takeaways box that's just like summarizes answer target style in a more encyclopedic way what you think about this vacuum in like 3 sentences. What's good, what's bad, should it be bought? And then you might do a second one of those answer paragraphs that's just who should buy this product. And then I would probably change the background color for each of those boxes. You can do that in the WordPress editor, just change the background color for that block of text. Make that consistent throughout your site. So every time people see a product review on your website, they're going to be able to say, okay, cool. They're going to easily be able to find the key takeaways. They're going to easily be able to find the who it's for. All this content should be at the beginning in the answer section. A lot of bloggers are putting it at the end because they want everybody to scroll through the whole post. But that's kind of annoying, right? The best and most successful product review websites on the whole internet are giving their key takeaways at the very beginning. And then people are likely to look at your pros and cons and identify certain ones they're curious about, and they'll scroll through the article and find that information in the blog post. You're still going to get them to scroll through the article. They're going to be, in fact, more likely to do so and more likely to make a purchase of the product if they get their answer right up front. And then the next thing I would do here is right there next to your key takeaways, I would probably put a button to go check the price on Amazon and maybe go check the price on a second website that also sells the product, one that you can sign up as an affiliate for. We're going to talk more about the affiliate marketing side of this in another lesson. But oftentimes I like to include multiple because Amazon has fairly low payouts, but really high conversions. So it can be really interesting to see how many clicks you're getting on each and be able to capture both. So I do like to include that. Now, normally, you're going to learn more about this in the monetization section. Normally, in a regular blog post, I don't love to use buttons for people to go buy the product. I would rather you put a contextual link. But in this case, where it says product review and where you have the key takeaways right there, I actually like the idea of having those buttons. Now, back to the actual post. Now we have the subheadings. The subheadings for this blog post, oftentimes what's going to make sense is for those to just be like the main testing criteria that you did. The different sort of features or pros and cons And it's going to be pretty easy to structure an article around those. But another thing to consider, if this is an article that does a good job of answering one of the search queries from your search analysis, or even more, if it fits for a whole query group, or even multiple queries within a query group that you've identified, now you have an opportunity. Have some subheadings that cover some of the other queries in that query group. Now you have a single article that has the potential to rank for a lot of different queries other than just review of shark vacuum. You're going to be able to rank for a whole bunch of queries related to that particular vacuum. And so this is an article that can potentially rank for a lot of stuff and bring in a lot of traffic, something that most of the product review bloggers are not doing. Now we've got all those subheadings, we've got all the content for each one of those subheadings, especially if, again, we're covering one of those search queries from a query group. You're going to want some kind of answer target. Could be in a paragraph form, could be a list, whatever it should be. You want an answer target for each one of those. Fill in all the information. Make sure that you have another buy button at the bottom of the article. You don't want people to have to go back up, or at least kind of include the link again at the bottom of the blog post. And then you're also going to want to link from this blog post to a roundup blog post that you haven't written yet. So for now, you can exclude the link, but you're going to want to come back and add a link to the roundup blog post where you're going to compare this product to other products in its class. It's a great way to get people to multiple articles on your site, and again, help them to find the ideal product for them, which is going to make them more likely to actually make a purchase, which is how you earn an income. The best way to do that in this case is to say, and this product is really great, but it's not the ideal for everyone. And so you're going to want to see this other blog post I wrote where I compare it to these other 4 vacuums or these other 4 products or 3 or however many there are. And when you do that, if I read that in a blog post and I'm interested in this product, how am I not going to go read the other one to figure out exactly which one is right for me? That's how we write an awesome product review blog post, and that's how we implement it in such a way to really optimize the traffic on our website, get people to multiple articles, and help ensure that you earn a commission for the hard work that you did of reviewing this product.